Good morning, viewers at home. Welcome to the program, SuperDawn. I am Vera Osopo. With you this morning, it's a Wednesday morning, and I'm not alone here.
Good morning. It's a wonderful time to be here this morning. Good morning, Vera.
Good morning to you, Blessed.
Cool, calm, flashy, red and white, if you ask me.
What will I do?
I'm Blessed and want to say good morning and welcome to SuperDawn Wednesday edition.
Well, today on this show, we want to look at our refineries, revamping Nigerians refinery. If you say refinery in Nigeria, it makes news to everybody. Nigeria is a leading producer of fuel, and looking at the oil production in Nigeria and looking at where we are today, we need to look into an X-ray our refineries. If you look at per day, we get about 2.5 thousand barrels per day. And if you look at the 4 installed refineries we're having, it's giving us 445,000 capacity per day. So we want to look at it. Why are we still importing fuel when we have this commercial gas resources to our disposals? Why do we still import fuel? What are the challenges? What do we need to do? So that's what we're going to be doing today on this show this morning. And we're not doing it alone. A guest will be doing it with us this morning. And of course, we're going to open the phone lines for you to call, make your contributions. And away from that, we usually, what we do, starting up this program, SuperDawn, we start with the newspaper review segment. We're going to do the review segment this morning also. So it's going to be a full package for you. And don't forget that what we end the program with is sports. And so you're going to get the best, latest of sports in SuperDawn. Once again, good morning to you. We go on this break, and when we come back, we want to go through the papers. Stay with us.
SuperDawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen Television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. It's the newspaper review segment, and this morning we want to start with the New Telegraph. And here says, Dogora to Buhari, you're not the only corrupt-free Nigerian. And the writer says, President, I was jailed for fighting corruption. Well, this news is shocking to me, a bit hard to me. But let me read it. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogora, had declared that there were millions of Nigerians spread across the globe who are corrupt-free aside President Muhammadu Buhari. This, as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission yesterday said, it recovered a total of 500 billion between 2015 and 28, while 486 convictions were secured within 3 years. Dogora, who spoke yesterday at the commissioning of a new corporate headquarters of the EFCC in Abuja, acknowledged that President Muhammadu Buhari has won global acclaim for his hard stance against corruption. But he says he's not the only corrupt-free Nigerian.
Yeah, he has given his own opinion, and that's to show to us that it's not only our president that is on this vanguard towards any corruption in the country. Himself, permit me to say that himself is also saying that he's also corrupt-free, and he's on the vanguard of fighting against corruption in Nigeria. And we were seeing so far our president is working hard to ensure that corruption in Nigeria is being nip in the bud and become a thing of the past in the history of our democracy. So I welcome that development, and I also see here as well that me myself, I'm also a corrupt-free person.
Okay, and myself also. We have this National Assembly raises 2018 budget by 508 billion. And the writer says, estimate now 9.120 trillion. This says Senate, House to pass appropriation bill today. The National Assembly has increased the 2018 appropriation bill by 508 billion, raising it from 8.612 trillion to 9.120 trillion preparatory to its passage this week. The jacking up of the budget contradicts the lawmakers' position, who earlier complained that the figure presented to the National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari was bogus and non-complementable. But now they are saying it's gone higher than we even thought it could have gone. We also have this 2019, Buhari's will win Kano, Sokoto, Kwara, Adamawa without NPDP. El Rufai talking hard.
Okay, and if that does it on the New Telegraph, I'm starting over here with Vanguard newspaper. And on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, just as we have on the New Telegraph, the headline screaming out loud here saying, Dogara to Buhari, you're not the only corrupt-free Nigerian. She has taken that story, so I'll just keep that and move over to the other stories on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. No word from Buhari as NPDP's ultimatum expires, and you find that on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. I quickly take the story, which says FG approves 10 billion naira for communities affected by herdsmen crisis. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the release of 10 billion naira for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of communities affected by herdsmen crisis in Benue and other parts of the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo disclosed this yesterday while addressing displaced victims of herdsmen crisis at Bagena internally displaced persons camp on the outskirts of Makurdi, the Benue state capital. The Vice President said the President had identified that 3 things must be done to address the challenge, which according to him included provision of security to the attacked community, restoration of destroyed communities and farmland to enable, the victims to return to the farm and ensure that the children return back to school. And with that story, if you ask me, to welcome development. The federal government is giving out 10 billion naira for communities that have been affected by herdsmen crisis. And if you ask me, I'll say these people have stayed too long a time at the IDP's camp. They need to go back to their community so that they can start their normal life. Okay. Again, I don't know what you
okay,
have to say about that.
Talking about that one, you can all see that it's expensive when you destroy yourselves. It's very expensive because looking at the kind of money is coming out from the government coffers now is making us know that, hey, so when we complain, we should know where the monies are going to. It's just too much. But this is a good one coming in. Let them get settled down because it's not easy to be a refugee in your own country. All right.
And quickly, on the front page of the Vanguard this morning, this particular headline has been in majorly all newspapers, hopefully, since yesterday. And I quickly just take this. INEC speak on this election rigor and save Nigeria's democracy. And this is coming from the story of Akinfa Korede, who is the commander of the Federal SAS of Rivers State. I quickly just read out what he published here. But the most minded bargain were cause of hostage taking, hijack of materials, and physical attacks on INEC officials perpetrated by security operative. Of singular note was a certain policeman named Akinfa Korede, who was ostensibly as the commander of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SACS, in Rivers State. Mr. Fakorede first tried to lure INEC staff to travel with him from Port Harcourt to Umuahia local government area under the pretext of enabling them to collate results. But for the intervention of national commissioners, we suspect that he would have put our staff in harm's way.
When he failed in his initial bid, he struck the INEC officials to the coalition center in Port Harcourt and physically assaulted Dr. C. Odekpe and Mrs. Mary Ntukayo. In fact, Dr. Odekpe ended up with a gash on his head, and both spent days at the Air Force Hospital in Port Harcourt. And this is INEC speaking out here. This story has been on the papers, I guess, for a week now, even more than, and they are talking about the person of the commander of the federal SARS, his attitude towards election in the past.
They're looking at rigging.
Yeah, calling to the attention of the public about his attitude towards rigging of elections and other electoral malpractice. And from what I've read thus far, they are trying to call out to Nigerians to ensure that this man is being watched as the forthcoming 2019 election draws nearer.
Okay, what they're basically doing, I guess, is for all the torchlights to focus on this particular person. You know, because looking at his record so far, it's shown, I don't know, it was alleged that he is compromising when it comes to election, and we should really watch it. And I think the more investigation to go into his presence. I think so.
All right, that does it for me on the Vanguard newspaper. Over now to the Punch for more stories.
The Punch this morning, and it says here, I was arrested, detained for fighting corruption. Buhari. I'm going to take that story. President Muhammad Buhari says during his rule as military head of state, he was ousted from office and detained for 3 years for fighting corruption. Buhari said this at the inauguration of a new corporate headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja on Tuesday. The president, who ruled from December 1983 to August 1985, before he was ousted in a coup by General Ibrahim Babangida, retired, said all the corrupt persons that were arrested during his administration were released, while the loot recovered from them were returned. He said this government promised to fight corruption, but corruption will continue to fight back. During my first attempt to fight corruption, corruption fought back successfully. I was moved as the head of state, detained for 3 years, and people who recovered stolen money from were given back their money, and I remained in detention up until my mother had to die to save me from detention. Well, he now said this. However, he remained steadfast and committed to fight against corruption drafts despite many challenges. Well, he gave us the history of how, when he came into power, you know, he ruled from 83 through 85, and how he was detained, and how money recovered from other people were taken back and returned back to them. So he's saying this, he's not going to stop. He's going to continue in the fight of corruption. Well, very interesting one. But someone is saying something different. And that's Baralaribu. I said, President hasn't learned from his past experience. Well, you need to go and read that because of time. We might not be able to take that particular one. Another story here says, May's staff, National Assembly panel summon Omagege and Ndume. State leader El Zazaki arraigned in Kaduna. We have Ebola. NCAA asks airlines to report suspected communicable diseases. That's very important.
Yes, it is.
Ebola.
Yeah.
Finally, I'll take from this one. It says, Lagos politician batters phone repairers for mending in fight with wife.
Wow. Wow.
Why are you mending?
Wow.
Why are you mending in fight with his wife? So he battered the phone repairers.
It just is
okay.
A sign to say.
Altitude, always. Well, we'll go on this break now. This is where we will stop for this segment. On this segment, we're going on this break now. When we come back, we're looking at how we can revamp our refineries. 4 refineries at the capacity of 445 per day, per barrel per day, and looking also at our commercial massive natural gas resources And still, with all of those, we're still importing product. We need to look at the oil sector and our refineries and see where we can get solutions from that end. Well, you will be part of this edition, and please, I want you to call, make a contribution. How can we solve these challenges? It's a question, but we will be right back.
Ginger is a very popular spice that is used widely in cooking and can be processed in a variety of ways. It has quite a unique flavor and is an ingredient used in many savory foods. It also has long been used as a remedy for various ailments, whether alone or in conjunction with other herbs and spices. And researchers continue to show just how effective it can really be. Ginger has several benefits as it contains a compound known as 6-gingerol. The compound has so far shown that it might be able to slow or even stop cancer cell growth in prostate, pancreatic, and ovarian cancer. If abnormal or damaged cells are able to start growing out of control, then a cancer may occur. An early test indicates that ginger could hold the key to the treatment. The good news for nausea sufferers is that ginger has been shown to be quite effective at relieving the symptoms. Nausea can be very unpleasant symptoms and can have a variety of causes. Ginger has long been used by sailors as a remedy for seasickness and can also help patients recover through nausea symptoms after surgical operations. Many people have difficulty controlling their blood sugar level. If there's too much sugar in the blood, very serious complications can occur. Studies have shown that consuming just 2 grams of ginger powder every day can reduce blood sugar levels by 12%. It can also make improvements of around 10% in the long term. It also has a positive effect on oxidized lipoprotein, which can have a significant effect on heart diseases. Menstruation can be quite an unpleasant experience for many women, with some suffering painful cramps and headaches every cycle. Pain during menstruation is known as dysmenorrhea and is a very common problem. Studies have shown that just a single gram of ginger a day can be enough to reduce both the duration of pain and their intensity. Every day we use our joints, and this results in wear and tear. Over time, this can result in a condition known as osteoarthritis, which is a fairly common ailment amongst older people. It can be very painful and can lead people to be unable to use their joints effectively. Studies have shown, though, that symptoms from osteoarthritis can be reduced with the help from ginger. Infections can really be quite unpleasant, and they can also be very easy to pick up. Though there are treatments available, it would clearly be not to get an infection, but ginger could help. Ginger contains a substance known as gingerol, and studies have shown it to be very effective in combating infections such as bacterial infections, viral infections, and some fungal infections. Stomach ulcers are painful lesions that are found on the stomach's internal lining. They are caused by a lack of protective mucus that protects the stomach's internal lining, allowing the lining to be harmed by stomach's digestive enzymes. Stomach ulcers are less likely to occur among people that consume ginger powder. One study shows that ginger can be effective at helping to prevent aspirin-induced stomach ulcers, in particular by blocking the activity of the enzymes responsible. One of the main causes of indigestion is a delayed emptying of the stomach, while an inability to digest as effectively as usual is also a common cause. Tests have shown, however, that ginger is able to speed up the emptying of food from stomach, which helps to prevent indigestion. Heart disease and high cholesterol levels are very closely linked. High cholesterol levels can lead to the buildup of cholesterol in the arteries, potentially blocking them. This can be and often is fatal. The cholesterol that is responsible for heart disease is known as LDL. A study was undertaken on people with a high level of cholesterol, which showed that in 45 days, 3 grams of ginger powder a day caused a considerable reduction in the cholesterol levels. Another study in rats shows that ginger was able to reduce cholesterol levels as effectively as atorvastatin, which is a drug used for this purpose. Oxidation causes stress in the body and helps to cause it to age over time. All parts of the body are affected, including the brain, and this leads to complications in later life. Ginger has antioxidant properties that helps to protect the brain from oxidative stress, helping to prevent complications such as Alzheimer's and dementia.
Welcome back, where we want to look at revamping our oil sector. We're focusing today, we're looking at our refineries, having 4 refineries. We have Warri, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and also we have Niger Delta refineries. And we still have issues of importation. One begin to wonder, why are we this way? Why can't we begin to think of using our commercial natural gas resources to help ourselves? But today in this show, we have Comrade Tayo Aboye J. He is the chairman NUPENG. I'm talking about Lagos, the zonal Lagos chairman of NUPENG. He's with us this morning. Good morning to you, Comrade Tayo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Comrade.
Good morning. Welcome.
We're looking at our refineries, 4 refineries, and if you look at the capacity at which the refineries are working today with what the importation is costing Nigerians, one begin to wonder, what is really the issue? Let's talk.
Well, the issue we look at different perspectives. One, the state of our refinery. Why are we importing? So many years back, or let me say, most of the refineries were built in early 70s, and therefore most of them are obsolete. But sometimes during the President Obasanjo regime, the former president, there was a time they said they did the turnaround maintenance of the refinery. But it has been like that. Every successive government has been saying turn around the maintenance and go for so much money has been spent on it. But we still find ourselves on the same page. On the same level. The refinery still refuses to work. The one that works at just a minimum capacity of maybe 20%. So the state of our refinery now makes us to now rely on importation. The first private depot was commissioned 80 years ago. It was called Wabeco, the Along Coconut and Prices. What led to private depot, speaking of private depot, was as a result of failures of our refineries to work. And because of that, government then abandoned refineries and faced the private depot. Then the cost of importing our products, solely I would say AGO, that is diesel, was not so much, on our side. The private depot spring up and government forget the refinery. And when you talk to government, why is very not working. Actually, they want us to believe that the people are finalizing the pipelines and so and etc. etc. Well, it's true. We have so many saboteurs outside there trying to make sure that the refinery will not work. But as of today, I want to commend this government because concerning the issue of refinery, Port Harcourt has started working at least to about 60-70%. Warri to is in production. Kaduna started, I think, in about 3 weeks, and they are coming up. But what they are producing is not enough for Nigeria construction, and we are still importing.
All right, sir. In 2017, December to be precise, the Vice President, Professor Yomi Oshibanjo, said the federal government is going to commission 10 modular refineries. And then just early this year, the Minister for State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiko, said those modular refineries will not be enough to meet the demands that Nigerians are looking for. Now, my question to you now, do you think modular refineries, what are modular refineries to start with, and what can we do to make sure that we curtail this shortage of petroleum that we're having in the country?
Okay, the issue of modular refineries came up when this government came on board. You see some a lot in the Niger Delta. You see some people operating illegal refineries. So the government now look at, we cannot throw these people away like that. So if some of them can have the idea of a refinery, let's now let them put us together and say, okay, can we have modular refinery that government is aware of? The government will even fund. So it will no longer be illegal. So some of them can produce AGO, some can produce PMS, and so on and so forth. But with government involvement in it, it is government that we provide the crude, let them refine and sell to public. But even this at that level, it cannot. What the modular refinery will produce cannot meet up the consumption of average consumption of this petroleum product in Nigeria, and that's why you still discover that we are still importing.
We are still in the
same thing because you just have to import. It's the only thing that can cover our importation is when the refinery are working 100%, and they are producing at maximum capacity.
Okay, looking at according to what she just said now, because Dr. Ibe Kachiko said right now we are producing at 630,000 capacity. And he said if you look at the refineries, the modular refineries, they produce in say 10,000, let's say in all maybe 500,000. So we might not be able to get enough to consume, that the country will not be able to have enough. Can we do more modular refineries so that at least, or modular refineries working in one hand, the real refineries are also working in one hand? Is that possible? So we can augment.
My question to government is this. For the past 8 years, 10 years, we have been talking, or even more than that, about the refinery we have, it's not working, they are obsolete. If you have started another refinery over 10 years ago, you have reached the stage of completion by now. Where did Dangote started this one? So it's not about modular refinery is just to complement the refinery effort. But if you have our own refinery, at least that will go a long way to bring this, to stabilize the downstream sector.
Now, talking about Dangote building his own private refineries, now I want to ask you this question. The role of the private sectors into this, the oil sector, how do you think that can help to enable us meet that target of having enough supply that will stop the importation of fuel into the country?
Definitely the Dangote, the private refinery, we go a long way to help as a private sector, we go a long way to bring the succor to the industrial sector. All what we have been asking for is a refinery. And the initiative of the Dangote refinery will bring a lot of advantage to us as a Nigeria. Right now we are importing. I believe by the time Dangote refineries come come on stream. Oh, this importation, if I believe we will not even be importing. If you are importing at all, just be with minimum.
Okay, looking at this domestic refineries, we're looking at the Calabar and the Port Harcourt, the Warri, Kaduna, and Delta refineries. Do you think, even when we put it to work at the full capacity, if it's working, will that be enough, considering that the population has increased? Looking at our environment, do you think it will even be enough, or do you think we should get new refineries?
No, even if they are working at a maximum capacity, it cannot meet up the consumption of Nigerians because the population has increased, just as we said, and they cannot raise their capacity of the refinery. The solution to that is either private or government. Let's have another refinery.
Okay, so let me ask you this. In Saudi Arabia, through the Saudi Aramco, which is the biggest energy company in the world, and Saudi Arabia is projecting on becoming the world #1 refined oil sector by 2025. Now, I'd like to ask you, what do you think the NNPC can do to ensure that they can be among the big global players of oil, refined oil in the world?
See, the NNPC alone cannot do this. In most of the parts of the world, it's private sector initiative. Yeah. Even this Saudi you are talking about, it's more or less private sector initiative. Remember during former President Obasanjo, about 10 or 15 individual private sector were given licenses. But up to now, no one has even made a groundbreaking, talk less of even making a refinery. Then the government should encourage the private sector. NNPC alone cannot do it. Let them encourage the private sector to have their own refinery. But I believe that if Dangote can build his own refinery, others should be able to.
Okay, now still talking about the oil sectors and building refineries, so much has been spent. Previous governments have come out to say they're investing X amount of money into building, fixing up our existing refineries. Now, I'd like to ask you now, how much do you think we needed to make sure that these domestic refineries, like she said, will be more functional so that they can meet the needs of the Nigerian population?
As to the cost of repairing refinery, I may not know.
Okay.
The government will be able to know what they are doing. But the point is that if government keep on saying they are doing the turnaround maintenance and every 4 years, I still wonder why it does not work. But one aspect of it is that there's another angle to it. Even if the refinery is working, there are some other unscrupulous Nigerians. Because when the refinery works, they have to pump these products to all the depots or some of the depots. But there are some people that are waiting for government to pump. If they will just vandalize the pipeline. And it doesn't make sense. Government will now look at it. It doesn't make sense for us to pump. Because if we pump 10 million litres, and at the end of the day, to get about 4 million litres, we get to the depot. Due to the activities of vandalism. So sometimes that's why government feel reluctant
to get it started.
To get it started, feeling that these people, government has spent so much to repair the pipeline.
Okay, talking about repairs of the pipelines, Dr. Ibe Kachuku said it when it just recently that the challenge, the menace of illegal crude oil, it's a problem. And so you must first look at solutions. You must first look for avenue where you can stop these guys from vandalizing the pipeline. It's a major challenge. Yeah. But I'll allow you to talk when we come back from this break. We go on this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, we're still looking at our refineries. It's very important that we take a searchlight, and one is wondering, why is it still in this state where people say it's the maintenance is a challenge, where people say it's partnership, investors are not ready to invest, where people say, hey, the illegal theft of this refineries, it's a major problem. We still have Comrade. Comrade, looking at those guys that just goes in there, vandalize this pipeline. What do you think we can do? Because of course, I know the Nopeng used to have local vigilantes working, you know, like synergy between them and the federal government party.
So if you could answer that question, we'd find out that, but that you don't need to do that. The security agents do not need to be pursuing you before you know what you are doing is wrong. But in every society, you see that kind of a group of people who are, out of one reason or the other, believe that they must prosper with illegality.
No, but can't we use those people that are doing this, causing this menace? Can't we begin to use what they are doing, empower them, finance them, and they begin to produce?
Yes,
we can register them, isn't it?
Yes, you can register them, but from the experience. When you give to such people, you are giving yourself more problem.
No, what I'm saying is, some of them...
those that are finalizing it, that we should not say, okay, please maintain it. And I'm not saying it has been done in the past, and from the experience, it's even worse.
So what are we going to do? Are we just going to allow it?
Let me tell you, somebody that is doing something wrong or illegal and is making money from it, it's hard to stop. That even when you give him, or he's making 500,000, for example, and you give him 1 million, please monitor this or stay with it, he will still do more because he wants more money.
So what is the solution?
The solution is what government is doing. Because even when the refinery comes, it starts to pump. Yeah. It starts to distribute. So it's just for government to partner the private sector on how to get this product to the end users. Like you said sometimes ago, Nopeng, Petroleum by PTD branch of Nopeng engaged vigilante to watch over the pipelines, and it was successful. We're able to reduce this, even though we cannot copy it totally. We're able to reduce this to barest minimum.
Let me ask you this: privatizing the refinery, do you think that is the solution to the shortage of fuel availability in the country?
But as of today, there's no shortage of fuel. Either you got the government, there's no what we have now is just the issue of AGO
going up by the day.
Every day.
So if you privatize the refineries, do you think we can solve the problem?
Well, privatizing the refinery it's a good thing. But I want to tell you something. Even when there was a time we were talking of deregulation. Yeah. Deregulation, the data sector. Nigeria does not be able to distinguish between deregulation and price increase. When you deregulate, you now feel that the forces of demand and supply should work together and determine the price. So there's no how today when you privatize and deregulate that the price of this product will not go up. So immediately the price go up, government will say, people will say government has increased the price. So there's no how again that this refinery will be in the private hand, that the price of product will not go up. Today the crude oil is about $80 per barrel. If PMS have to, like they are importing PMS now, it's government that is subsidizing themselves. If not, look at the AGO. AGO as at today, or let me say as at today, it's 220 per liter. Because government has completely deregulated AGO markets.
So where is this taking us to? Are you saying that we will continue because we are right now compelled to import products, petroleum products? We're compelled to import it, and from the international market, looking at the scarce foreign exchange right now, the high rate right now, you say we're going to just continue this way?
No.
Is that the way to go?
No. I just told you that. Except when our refineries are producing at the maximum capacity, either in private hand, or in government hand, all this problem, importation problem, will be resolved.
But we keep saying refineries are producing. We keep saying every year government has come and gone. I like using that word. And the refineries are still the state, still the same way. Are we not going to focus on getting a lasting solution? Why is it difficult to fix our refineries and maintain them?
But
why do you think it's difficult?
Okay, compared to the previous government, this government is doing well concerning the maintenance of the refineries. Our refineries. I just told you that Port Harcourt is
picking up
at about 80% Warris have started doing something. In the previous government, it was not like that.
Okay, I'm going to hold you on there. There's a caller. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I want to contribute.
Okay, Innocent, go ahead.
Yes, I want to say something. I think there was a time when the government itself were ready those that were doing the so-called modular kind of something.
Refinery.
They didn't give them chance. And if they did give them chance, let them invite one of them or some of them to come to prove it that they gave them chance to operate. And I want to say something. My brother there said that when somebody that those that are typing the line, when they give them chance, they will do what instead of doing better. I want to disagree with that. Because the first reason why we went there, because they want to cleanse their family. So if somebody wants to do was doing the wrong thing in the
okay,
we will be happy to use this word. I don't think they are giving them that chance. And two, these people that are importing the fuel, the gain might be so sweet in their mouths that they could also be an obstacle to our refinery. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I want you to react to what you said.
Right. When I said that giving to those people that are paralyzing the contrast to, I said from the experience, it's what we have done before. There's a particular location in Magboro, Arikpo, and Ikorodu.
Arikpo.
Yes. There was a time that it's the same people that were engaged monitor this pipeline. If I tell you the story behind it, it's not what we can be seeing on the screen. But it has been tested and it has proved that you can't trust them.
Okay, but he also said something that is very key here. He said those people importing this fuel, maybe they like to import fuel because they are making monies out of it, out of Nigerians.
As I today,
Could that be true?
It's only an NPC that is importing petrol.
Yes.
PMS. No private.
Yes.
Can import.
Could it be that?
Yes. The diesel, because of the deregulation, anybody can just bring it in, and it's what you import. It's what you bring to the market. What you buy is what you are going to sell. Looking at the price of international price of the crude oil today, it's what it's buy that they will say. It's not about anybody's because of the interest in importing or making gain. No, it's not about. It's
maybe
not
the management. Maybe he's trying to say the management, people on top that are making more monies because they are supposed to be focusing.
But
on how
they are in business.
They are supposed to focus on how we can make our own refineries work because this is at the detriment to the nation's economy.
We are talking
it's
about
a detriment to the nation's economy.
Before the refinery comes on board. Something we can't just be looking. So definitely there are some people that will fill the gap, and which is private sector, and it's what they are. That they are going to say. If they are selling, much more higher than what they're supposed to, then government can intervene. But as today, looking at the cost of this, the cost of that, the landing cost of the AGO is what determines the price we are selling.
We talked about capacity now of our refinery. I'd like to ask you this. How can we put our refinery into a maximum way that to fix our refinery better so that it can produce maximally to what we cannot consume as a country?
But I just told you that even when you fix the 4 refineries, it cannot still meet our daily consumption.
So we need to get more.
Because our population. So we need new refineries.
So how many more refineries do we need? Dangote is building one, and so how many more do we need?
If I can build, you can build, it can be. It's good for us. There is no numbers of refineries that build that will say it's either enough or not. Everybody can build. Even the more you build, the more when it gets to competition, the price will come down.
Well, building refineries is capital intensive here, and you agree with me with that. And how can the government make it open for foreign investors to come in and invest in it?
Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know the challenges government is facing about that. But in one or two forums I said if Dangote can build a refinery, I don't see the reasons why some other private investor cannot build. It's government that gives Dangote the enabling environment. So it's the same government that will provide the enabling environment for every other person. So I don't see the reason why even the investor cannot come and build.
Okay, we also look at, I'm coming back to Nupeng, the marketers, oil marketers. Recently, we've not been hearing a lot about Nupeng. I don't know what is happening. In recent times. I know you just had your elections.
Thank you.
Yes.
We just had our election, and we give glory to God. It's a smooth transition from the former president to our new amiable president, Comrade Prince William Aporia, who has been doing wonderfully well. He came aboard not up to a month, and has been showing us the leadership quality.
Okay, looking at that and also looking at your relationship with the stakeholders, your relationship with this government rather, what plans do you people have to engage government in discussion and also looking at how we can help with the refineries?
In the time past, we have been together with most of the all the stakeholders, including the government, most of the committees. Nupeng have been represented by our leaders, and this present leadership of Nupeng also, they are favorable to that extent. I mean, supporting the government to be able to achieve what their action plans. But however, with that, one or two issues may be coupled concerning the workers, which we are engaging the government with. See, these days, Nupeng are so fantastic. If you do hear about anything strike, sit down, we negotiate. But there are some stubborn stakeholders. We want to say no.
No to what, please?
No to our demands.
What are these demands? Can you give us some of these demands?
All right, like the welfare of our members. We are there just for the welfare of our members. Where we now say, okay, what we give them last year or last 2 years, it's not what we should ask them this year. Wants to discuss. Or somebody will just decide that, okay, I want to end your contract. You cannot say you cannot end the contract, but you have to pay. You have to respect the agreement we have in our CBA. Some will say no, due to one reason or the other. We have an agreement that anytime you want to close your contract, this is what was at the same place. But some will say no.
Well, we must wrap up now. I want to thank you for coming. But before you leave, tell us your final words to government concerning refineries, your sincere suggestions.
Well, I would rather commend the government. See, we are in the sector. We know what is happening. I will commend them for the job well done. But I will still tell them they can do more. Okay. Apart from Dangote refinery, let's see another one coming up very soon. So if we have 10 refineries, it's not, I would say it's not even enough. Nigeria is so big, it can accommodate everybody. So I want them to improve more on it. And I want them to, government also, to please intervene in the issue of AGU.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. We have Comrade Tayo Aboyeje. He is the Lagos Zonal Council Chairman for Nupeng. Thank you so much for coming on this.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Well, we'll go on this break, and when we come back, SuperDawn will continue. Stay with us.
Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which has potent medicinal properties. Garlic is a plant in the allium onion family. It is closely related to onions, shallots, and leeks. It grows in many parts of the world and is a popular ingredient in cooking due to its strong smell and delicious taste. This compound is known as allicin and is also responsible for the distinct garlic smell. Allicin enters the body from the digestive tract and travels all over the body where it exerts its potent biological effect. Garlic is a plant in the onion family, grown for its cooking properties and health effect. Garlic supplementation is known to boost the function of the immune system. Studies show that a daily garlic supplement reduced the number of colds by 63% compared with placebo. Cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and strokes are the world's biggest killers. High blood pressure or hypertension is one of the most important drivers of these diseases. Human studies have found garlic supplementations to have a significant impact on reducing blood pressure in people with high blood pressure. Effects on longevity are basically impossible to prove in humans, but given the beneficial effect on important risk factors like blood pressures, it makes sense that garlic could help you live longer. The fact that it can fight infectious disease is also an important factor because these are common causes of death, especially in elderly people with dysfunctional immune systems. Garlic has known beneficial effects on common causes of chronic diseases, so it makes perfect sense that it could help you live longer. Garlic was one of the earliest performance-enhancing substances. It was traditionally used in Asian cultures to reduce fatigue and enhance the work capacity of laborers. The last one is not the health benefit, but still important. It is the fact that it is very and easy to include garlic in a current diet. It complements most savory dishes, particularly soups and sauces. The strong taste of garlic also adds a punch to otherwise bland recipes. Garlic comes in several forms, from whole cloves and smooth pastes to powders and supplements like garlic extract and garlic oil. The minimum effective dose for therapeutic effect is 1 clove eaten with meals, 2 or 3 times a day. However, keep in mind that there are some downsides to garlic, such as bad breath. The active compound allicin only forms when garlic is crushed or cleaved when it is raw. If you cook it before crushing it, then it won't have the same health effects. The best way to consume garlic is raw or to crush it and cut it and leave it out for a while before you add it to your recipes. Garlic is going to provide you relief from that stubborn cold and flu. Yes, they absolutely love you and never want to leave. Taking 2 to 3 cloves of raw or cooked garlic a day, or sipping some garlic tea with a touch of honey or ginger to lift up the taste, is not only going to relieve a stuffed nose and cure the cold, but also build your immunity against these frequent visitors over the time. Garlic is one of the best kept medicinal.
Welcome back. Well, we're still looking at the refineries, Blessed. Getting this capacity per day, we're looking at 2.5 million barrel per day.
Okay.
And if you get the whole 4 refineries, we're looking at about 445,000 barrel per day. And still, we're still importing. Is this not a waste of resources? Is it not a waste of money?
Of course it is. There's no two ways about it. It is. I strongly believe if our governments are going to be serious about fixing our refineries, it's going to be one of the ways we're going to end unemployment in the country. And with the private sector, with Aliko Dangote coming into Broads to invest into the private, by building his own refineries, I strongly believe that one is going to create more jobs, and secondly, we're going to be having 650,000 barrel per day
so as to meet with the needs or the demanded needs of our growing population. I strongly believe if the government will create more platform for private investors to come into this oil and gas segment, industry rather, to build in more refineries, most of the money we're wasting importing fuel are going to be channeled into other sector, and economy gradually will be coming up. Even
aside just employment, you know, I'm beginning to calculate when government has come and gone, and I tell you there's no money in circulation, the treasury is down. These are part of the things that make the treasury down, where you can survive without a massive importation. Yeah. And when we say massive, we're looking at the international markets, not just the local market. So we're talking about foreign currencies. Yeah. And you know how the dollar has been going. Yeah. It's not really coming down. Yeah. And so looking at the way we spend money, if you look at this government has been around, say, about 4 years, say 3+ years, and we've been importing. I think if they look into the refineries very well, we might save a lot of money from the refineries. Certainly. I remember if you look at the Niger Delta refinery, the Warri was commissioned in the 1978. Okay. And up to date, if we say we cannot get more refineries as a country, I think we're telling ourselves a big lie. Yeah. I for one, think this administration has said they're going to fix, they're going to repair, and which they are doing maintenance. Okay. And some have started, they're up and doing, and some have started working. The Port Harcourt is running. And I think if they begin to look at all of them, look at Kaduna, they look at, because right now the percentage of what we're getting is about 8%, which is so poor. But I think if we'll channel loads of resources in the oil and gas downstream, if we channel more monies and bring private partnership, as we've been talking about, it will help us. Because don't be surprised, if we continue like this and the dollar keep rising, we might now increase fuel. Yeah, it's going to be at our own demerit. Yeah, because when you say you're buying at 145, one begins to wonder, something you are producing. No, you're blessed with, I wanted to use the word, better word to use is you are blessed with. Yeah, because I know that Nigeria, we are naturally, we have it endowed with gas resources. And so if we're endowed with gas resources and we're still importing, there's a challenge. That challenge is what I have not seen anybody come to answer. Tell us how we can get out of this. We're in a web. Tell us how we can get out of this. Let the government and the Nupeng Zonal Chairman Lagos said that this government is trying, if you go into the oil sector, especially petroleum products. Now this administration is trying in that angle. But you know, Nigerians, we want to see. We just don't want to talk. We want to see. Yeah, I just hope, just like you are also hoping that our government do something quick about it to make sure that our refineries are put in good shape. And one thing that really bothers me here is why we're going to be having government upon government coming in and going out, and then no one is paying critical attention to these refineries. It's another way of getting revenues. We can't be complaining about the economy being bad and all that, and we are not looking inward to see how to look at areas that can be channeled and worked on to get more revenues. I strongly believe that if this administration are really serious about this, the president himself is the Minister of Petroleum Resources, you know that as well. If he's going to sit down with the stakeholders, if there's a need to have a meeting with the stakeholders and let them put heads together and say how we can make our refineries start working, so that one, we can create jobs for our youth, and secondly, we can have enough resources for the consumption of the entire population of the country. Yeah, because if you look at the way we're going, the population increase, it's another one. Because government should plan, there should be a vision. Certainly. Government should have plans ahead. And so if you look at the rapid expansion, the rapid growth of the population, and also the increase in economic activities, you will know that it is essential, it is needed, that things need to be put in place.
Yeah.
It is needed that we get more refineries.
Certainly.
Not just repairing or maintaining
yeah.
the refineries. We have now the 4-1. Yeah, you could say 4, because if you look at the other one, the petrochemical one, it's also another one, but that's a private-owned one. But if you look at the 4 refineries we have right now that is not running, some is about to kick off because of the maintenance, we could say that with our population presently is not going to meet the demand, the consumption of the people. It will meet the demand. So I think we need, as we're wrapping up this segment, we need as a people to think. We need to come together. Stakeholders in the oil sector need to meet and give us a way forward. Let's get it started. And I know that it must start from you and I. It will start also from the presidency. The Comrade Tayo said something very key, said this administration is trying in that angle, but they can do better. We want to see all of these refineries working at least. Then we can now tell them, can you now start a new one? But first, let the 4 ones run. Let them
into
run.
maximum use so that they can produce maximally for the benefit of the people.
Yes, it's very important. But that's why we'll come to an end of this segment. And Blessed, up next is SuperDawn Sports. Prince Will is here. Stay with us.